Hello everyone! Today we are back for the best video game from every US state, and this is part 2. So if you haven't watched part 1, then the link is in the description. Now everything is sorted out, let's continue. Texas. Let's start with a bang, shall we? Texas is the state of football, but still when it comes to video games, it has some tough contenders. The first is obviously Pepsi Men. This game was Subway Surfers before Subway Surfers. The second contender could be The Last of Us, but the majority of it is in Boston, so it doesn't fit the criteria. So what do you think is the best Texas game? The answer is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know this is recency bias at its finest, but this game is very good. Don't believe whatever propaganda IGN is trying to feed you by saying that this game is just a 6. They don't know shit about it. So Texas gets the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Louisiana. Just beyond Texas is Louisiana. I think the only thing I can think of about Louisiana is farming. A video game about Louisiana, I used to believe it would be Red Dead Redemption, but RDR doesn't really mention any real-life states except maybe California, if I remember correctly. So we can't go with RDR for now, maybe later in some states. But for Louisiana, the best possible option we have is Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. If you are a Resident Evil fan like me, you know what I'm talking about when I say this is one of the best horror experiences ever. Mechanics, graphics, and the story all blend perfectly together. So Louisiana gets Resident Evil 7, Tennessee. Tennessee is cool, but it gave me a headache to find a decent game for it. I'm going to be honest here. We don't really have any good options. I mean, The Walking Dead has a character named Tennessee, but we don't care about that, so we have no other options. I would have to commit a crime by picking an Avengers video game, which is Iron Man 3. Marvel games are always hit and miss, meaning either they are good or terrible, with no in-between. But this game can be an exception. It doesn't have any legendary factor, but it doesn't completely suck either. So Tennessee gets Iron Man 3. Missouri. I don't know much about Missouri except that it has St. Louis. The entire Missouri state looks like a perfect place for a post-apocalyptic game, so that is what we are going to choose here. I already selected Fallout, so choosing it again might make it boring. But to be honest, there's one Missouri game better than Fallout, which is Resistance 3, the final game of the Resistance trilogy. In my opinion, this game is underrated because the gameplay is a blast. It's only a PS3 exclusive, so that might explain its lack of popularity. But for now, Missouri is Resistance 3, Colorado. I did not expect this, but Colorado had some decent options to choose from. It isn't completely blank like Alabama, where I had to break the rules of reality to fit in, but this time, we have options. Starting with South Park, the Stick of Truth. If you don't know, South Park is actually in Colorado. It doesn't show up on Google Maps. That's a different topic of discussion, but yeah, the game is cool. We also have another option, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This game feels very different from your average day-to-day Metal Gear game, but it does not matter because we are not going to choose it. That's right, Colorado is South Park, Hawaii. Fun fact, Hawaii is only 2,500 miles away from California, and about 4,000 from Japan. But let's not waste time and check out games. If we are mentioning Hawaii, there will be some World War II games because of Pearl Harbor, and that's exactly what our first contender is, Attack on Pearl Harbor. Now this title might make you think I'm talking about Attack on Titan, but this game is not that good. It has its moments, but what else can you expect from a flying game? They all are boring. I mean, almost. Another option is Advanced Warfare. But this game isn't peak Call of Duty, and we already has Modern Warfare 3 for Arizona, so no Call of Duty. Instead, we will go with a Nintendo Switch game, which is Shakedown Hawaii. This game looks like a cheap parody of GTA games, and it is. So there's no doubt in that, but the game is not bad. It has Hawaii in the title, so Hawaii is now Shakedown Hawaii. New Jersey, a state which can be called a Walmart version of New York. No, I'm not disrespecting anyone. That was just a terrible joke. Now, to choose a New Jersey game, we have a lot of options. Thanks, New York. So the first option we have is the Godfather game from 2006. Now, if you are a casual movie enthusiast, you might not know about the Godfather movie. But if you are a based movie enjoyer, you for damn sure know that The Godfather is a masterpiece movie. But this game is just another feel-good adaptation. I mean, it doesn't have any legendary plot or any extraordinary feature, and if you play it in now, you will get bored within an hour, but back in 2006, it must have been interesting. And if you don't like it, don't worry. I've got a perfect game for you, which is Nancy Drew: The Haunted Carousel. Now this game is not as scary as some fake YouTubers will convince you to believe, but it's still a decent game, and that's why we are going to pick it. So New Jersey is Nancy Drew's haunted carousel. Next up is Montana. So Montana is pretty beautiful, and it deserves another beautiful Montana-based video game, and that game is Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Just kidding, it's actually Far Cry 5. I could have chosen Far Cry New Dawn too, but 5 is simply better. Far Cry 5 might not be the best Far Cry video game, but it had its moments, like the cool guns and stuff. You've got to agree that Ubisoft might not be consistent, but they can develop things quickly, at least most of the time. So Montana is now Far Cry 5. Maine. I'm not going to waste any time on this one. You know, I know and the world knows that the best video game set in Maine is Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is a masterpiece. Even though it's very old now, almost every single horror fan can name it. It doesn't use anything big and dramatic to scare you, but it presents an amazing storyline with elements you won't see coming. So I don't think there can be any better game for Maine than Silent Hill 2 itself. There are other Silent Hill games too, but I don't think any of them are better than Silent Hill 2. So this is why Maine is Silent Hill 2. Arkansas. So Arkansas is another lesser popular state, and it doesn't even exist for the game developers, which is why it has no major title. Still, I needed to find something to fit in, so we are going with Damage Incorporated 1997. I'm damn sure you've probably never heard of this game, let alone played it. It is an old computer game you can now play in a browser, but don't think I'll recommend it because just look at the graphics. This is the type of game that can only be played for preservation, but hey, at the end, we got a pick for Arkansas. So Arkansas is now Damage Incorporated. I don't want to, but I'm ending today's journey with Arkansas, and this is what the map looks like now. This is how the map used to look after the first part, and this is what it looks like now. We're going to complete it, and there are still many great states remaining and some video games you won't see coming. Watch out for Massachusetts. Also, drop a comment if your state hasn't been featured yet, and subscribe to the channel because the next part is on the way with more content. I'm promising you the type of videos you have never seen, so jump on the offer and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. But till then, take care of yourself.